Quitting with nowhere to go. You know that feeling when everything at work is stable and calm, but inside you keep hearing the question, what if I try something of my own? What if there's a better place for me somewhere else? You think about it, you dream, but there just aren't any good options, and you can't bring yourself to make a change. I mean, you can't just quit with nowhere to go. But a year ago, that's exactly what I did. I left my job as a product marketer at Yandex with no plan at all. It was a really bold and exciting experience, and I'm honestly grateful to myself for having the courage to do it. But along the way, I made quite a few mistakes. And today, I'm going to talk about the 5 biggest ones so you can avoid them. Make sure to watch this episode all the way to the end. I'm sure it'll save you from a lot of unnecessary problems and worries. The first mistake is a lack of specifics. When I quit, I had no idea what exactly I was going to do. I had a few ideas. I thought about becoming a full-time blogger, starting my own marketing agency, or consulting for businesses. But I didn't have any clear idea of what my main source of income would be or what exactly would become my primary activity. And honestly, uncertainty by itself isn't a tragedy. But the lack of specifics made the impact of my second mistake even worse. Mistake number 2. I left with only a minimal financial cushion. Experts recommend having savings for at least 3 to 6 months of expenses, so you have time to calmly find yourself and new sources of income. I only had 1 month. And of course, 1 month turned out to be way too little. I was lucky to have my husband by my side, who supported me both financially and emotionally. But if I had been alone, it would have been a serious source of stress. So don't try this trick yourself. It's actually dangerous for your mental health. Mistake number 3. I didn't give myself time to rest. I dreamed that after quitting my job, I would have at least a week or 2 to calmly think about what I wanted to do. But instead of resting, I started to worry and stress out, thinking I'd soon end up dying in a ditch. Seriously, it sounds funny, but that's exactly how anxiety works if you don't have a clear plan and some savings. So, plan ahead for a short period when you can just breathe, relax, and think about your future. Mistake number 4. It's not having a list of what I'm definitely willing to agree to, and what I'm not. When you suddenly find yourself without a stable income, it feels like you have to take any offer that comes your way. As a result, you start grabbing at everything chaotically. And in reality, this is a strategy that only takes you further away from your true goals. It's important to stay selective and understand exactly what you're willing to do and what you're not. Believe me, when you know your boundaries, it brings you much more benefit than chaotic attempts to do at least something for anyone. And mistake number 5. I underestimated the importance of support. I thought I could easily handle everything on my own, since I've always been very independent and strong. But it turned out that being alone during a period of uncertainty is incredibly hard. I really lacked like-minded people, those who had gone through a similar journey and could share their experiences, feelings, offer support, and simply tell me that my emotions were normal. So if you're now thinking about quitting without a plan, find someone you can openly discuss all your fears with. Believe me, this is truly important. Now, almost a year later, I'm sure that quitting without a backup plan is totally possible and actually pretty great, but only if you do everything right and try to avoid making the same mistakes I did. Prepare yourself, create space for rest, figure out what you want and don't want to do. And definitely find people who will support you. My name is Diana Lopatnikova. On this channel, I talk about how to start something new, launching a business, changing careers, building habits, and bringing your boldest ideas to life. Here you'll find stories from guests who were recently beginners themselves, overcame their fears, and found success in what they do. There will also be personal episodes where I openly share my mistakes, discoveries, and insights. If you're standing at the threshold of a new chapter in your life right now, let this video be a small push to get you moving. Starting isn't scary. What's scary is staying in the same place and later regretting that you never tried. Subscribe to the channel and I'll see you very soon. And yes, it's possible.